This coming September, Scotland will make what is perhaps the biggest decision it has ever made in the last 300 years.
Calm yourself and be quiet. Learn it.
It seems a shame, then, the usual political nonsense we see all the time has to get in the way of it. Politics is incredibly important, but then how do we find ourselves becoming so bored with it? Perhaps George Orwell put it best. All issues are political issues, and politics itself is a mass of lies, evasions, folly, hatred and schizophrenia. So does this mean we're living in a mad world? Probably. Politics has developed a way of speaking that is fit for purpose.
Totally laughable and completely ludicrous.
So often politics not what they say, but how they say it. So where to start? For now, let's deal with the Scarecrow. All heart, no head. The Scarecrow likes appealing to our emotions frequently because what we feel can appear more real than what actually is.
Such is the fusion of our bloodlines that my surname goes back to the West Highlands. And by the way, I'm as proud of my Scottish heritage as I am of my English or my Welsh heritage. The name
Does David Cameron, harking back to his Scottish ancestry, make a difference if Scotland could be a successful independent country? Not really, but it gives his words a sense of personal investment and authenticity.
This is personal.
If Scotland goes independent, Cameron loses a part of himself. The SNP, as with most national parties, are certainly no exception. Let us never forget this endearing party political broadcast from 2010. Understandably, patriotism plays a big part in the referendum debate because the whole question boils down to a question of nationhood. But pulling the heartstrings is a staple of all political debate because everyone is affected by their emotions, perhaps more than we like to let on. Maybe these examples have been a bit too obvious. Here's a more subtle example. During the last UK parliamentary elections, David Cameron made this anecdote.
I was in Plymouth recently, and a 40-year-old black man actually made the point to me. He said, I came here when I was 6. I've served in the Royal Navy for 30 years. I'm incredibly proud of my country.
If this anecdote were true, then the sailor Cameron speaks of would have been 10 years old when he joined the Navy.
I ate a crayon!
Either Cameron got his numbers wrong, or this is a complete lie. Why even bring up a story like this? Because having a first-hand account of something is a lot easier to understand than cold, faceless data. Actually being on holiday is very different from looking at a postcard. But let's not forget, just because an argument may frighten or anger us, doesn't mean it's a bad argument or even a weak one. When under the influence of emotion, our morality changes. Imagine propaganda as a stiff drink. The more of it you consume, the more appealing its ideas become. Yoo-hoo, David! It's important to know the difference between a logical argument and an argument that's sole purpose is to stir up our emotions. If appealing to our emotions is the only way an argument can be justified, it really isn't justifiable at all.